What is up, enthusiasts? Canada's Wonderland has officially announced their new for 2019 dive coaster that we have all been hyping up for the past couple of months. It will be the tallest, fastest, and longest dive coaster, and it will be called Yukon Striker. Now, this roller coaster is definitely unique to the country, unique to the area, and I'd have to say one of the most unique coasters coming out of 2019, so let's talk about it. At around 8 to 9 p.m. last night, this roller coaster was leaked, and yeah, I did have the chance to make my own video about it, but I did want to wait till I got more information about the ride because it's giving me a lot more stats than it did last night, and there's better quality on the POV videos and more videos in general, so why not just wait? First, talking about stats, it will be the tallest dive coaster at 245 feet in height, over 20 feet taller than Valravn at Cedar Point. It will be 80 miles an hour, and it will be also the longest dive coaster at 3,625 feet. Another record that they actually got was the most inversions on a dive coaster. Most of them have 2, Valravn has 3, and this one will have 4. 2 Immelmans, a vertical loop, and a 0G. So why not we get right into the layout? So the layout obviously starts off with the big 90-degree drop, which might actually be one of the best drops out of any coaster in North America. And I'm saying that because it goes right into a tunnel under Vortex, which is the arrow suspended there, and then it goes into this gigantic Immelman. And I have to say, when it comes to B&M, this might be the tallest inversion that they've ever put out. Gatekeeper has 170 feet wing over drop, and Valravn has 165-foot Immelman. So I think this kind of takes the cake, maybe by a little bit, but not by a lot. After that is a 0G roll, and the 0G roll looks pretty unique. It doesn't look like your average 0G roll. It looks like it turns a little bit right after it's done with the 0G roll, and then it goes into what might be one of the most unique elements on any dive coaster ever. It is a vertical loop. That is right. This will be a dive coaster with a vertical loop, so if you're not counting all of the Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 dive coasters, this will be the first ever dive coaster to have a vertical loop. Now, I know the thoughts are mixed on this vertical loop. I personally like it because it has more variety to the dive coaster collection. This is the first dive coaster, like I said, with a vertical loop, and I feel like with the pacing of this ride, it looks incredible. If you can't tell by this out and back section, the pacing looks absolutely incredible, including the next element, which is another Immelman. It goes into this weird, I guess you could say, ditch, and then it goes into an Immelman. The pacing of this part of the ride looks absolutely insane. It looks better than Valravn's, even better than I'd say Griffin and Sheikah's. I don't know how it will play in real life when it comes to some of the wheels or the time of day or wind, but the pacing looks pretty cool. I don't know if that's just me. I see some pretty good pacing for a B&M dive, but all that pacing is ruined once you enter the mid-course brake run, which is really 3/4 of the course through, because it kills all your momentum, really. But I mean, after that, it goes into a helix and a small hill. And I mean, as someone who's ridden B&M coasters with vest restraints, that really doesn't do much. I mean, it really doesn't do a lot. That last kind of section of Valravn, that airtime hill and that turn, really doesn't do much. So this might actually be one of the most controversial coasters of the year so far, including rides like Steel Curtain, but this ride looks pretty fun. Not as fun as Steel Curtain. I'd say Steel Curtain might be one of the best coasters of next year, but I mean, 99 out of 100 coaster enthusiasts I know are more into airtime and more into that high speed RMC, GCI, Intamin Mac, that kind of stuff. But I mean, let's get this straight. Valravn was a huge success at Cedar Point. It was a big GP magnet, and it got a lot of money in the park. I feel like this was a good decision for Canada's Wonderland, as long as maybe their next coaster, or second to next coaster, might have some good airtime, good ejector. But what I think about this coaster, I'm going to combine both of those thoughts, and I say it's a good addition for the park. I would have rather seen an RMC, but I mean, it's a GP magnet. This will get a lot of people talking in the Toronto area. Everyone at school will talk about the holding brake before the vertical drop. It's the first of its kind in Canada. It's going to be a big success. It might be some people's favorite when they love going upside down. This will definitely, probably, I'm not going to say definitely yet, but but probably be top 3 in the park. I mean, you got the 2 big B&M Hyper and Gigas, and you got an elite dive. I think this is a great dive, top 3 dives, with Valraven and Valkyria just being right behind. And the theme, well, the theme is pretty cool. I actually like the theme. It seems like every time a new name comes out, it's always gonna have complaints by coaster enthusiasts. But I do like the name, I do like the theme, but I just wish the second half of the ride wasn't as boring as the Yukon territory. But overall, the ride looks pretty good. Great addition. Good job, Canada's Wonderland. This is gonna get some good attendance. And before I go, I need to say one more thing. If you look at the drop POV, if you look right before the drop, if you look just straight ahead of you, you will see that there is still a lot of land left to work with. There is a lot of land left to work with, and that makes me pretty excited. I'm glad they mostly used the old Skyrider territory area. They used that area, and they put a gigantic dive in it. But let's see what they could do across from Vortex, across from the pond, across from all that. Let's see what next they could do. I feel like that will be where their new coaster is. But for now, we got a dive. It looks pretty fun. I might not ride it next year, but for you guys that ride it next year, for you girls, for anyone that rides it next year, I hope you all enjoy. And I hope this is a great success that doesn't have any mechanical failures in the making. And just like Valraven, it runs smooth and it's a great ride. This is Cedar Flags. I will see you later.